Welcome to my vlog on big data and cybersecurity. My name is Lim. I'm a computer scientist and educator and a software engineer. And it's my pleasure today to have a guest speaker here. I have Danesh from theom, and he's a VP of engineering, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about theom. Danesh, just like tell us a little bit about theom, what it does, what problems it solves, and why would anyone care about theom?
All right. So theom is a data security and cloud governance platform. We run natively within your cloud data environments, such as your data lakehouse, warehouse, or OLTP platforms. What we look at is insider risks to your data security and threats to your data security. We have AI engines that can run natively within your cloud environments to detect issues, and we have an interface that displays it all. And I mean, we also integrate with Databricks, which is great. So
that sounds awesome. So actually, can you show us a little bit about the whole theom interface and product?
yeah, absolutely. So I've got a demo environment here. This demo environment has a Databricks account set up. This account has two databases with some demo tables. It has a Snowflake account as well, and it has an Azure account. The Azure account has a SQL Server associated with it. So you can have all your data environments within one portal. Then we go and look at, we can look at a MITRE dashboard. This MITRE dashboard tells you a lot about what's going on inside your environment in terms of threats. You might be familiar with the normal MITRE attack framework. This is what we call the MITRE dashboard for data threats. In this case, we have an overall detective posture. We have asset distribution among MITRE attack techniques. So whether it's hygiene, reconnaissance, infiltration, and you'll see various headings here with each of those down here. And each of those has panels. These panels represent different attacks within that grouping. So for example, if we go to, let's say, infiltration, in infiltration, you might see recent grants from one user to another, or network policy modifications like ACL modifications. When that was done, you might see users who use privileged access or who change compute, change tasks, things like that. And you'll see this for all your lake houses in one, and all your data lakes or all your accounts in one screen. So from here, you can see these are the Databricks accounts, these are the Snowflake accounts, and you can also see the SQL Server accounts on the following pages.
This is really cool. I mean, I can imagine that folks who are interested in governance would be interested in this product as well. I mean, can you talk a little bit about maybe on the governance side, anything that really speaks to the governance folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So theom, being within the customer's environments, can discover data stores across their environments, discover who access those environments, over provisioning, things like that. So in this case, you can see we provide a high-level view for all the data stores within this environment, all the users and roles, what the configuration is, and we also look at the entities discovered within those data stores. We do this for your data lakes, we do this for your object stores. So in this case, you can also see what's encrypted, what's unencrypted, public, private, etc. We also do this for data in motion. Furthermore, we also have security rules, and the security rules can be used to build rules over the data we have, such that when certain rules are violated, you get issues such as dev secrets exposed or ransomware, things like that.
Can you kind of zoom in on a particular thread and actually kind of walk us through how theom would address that?
Maybe we can go to the notebook, and when I talk about how these threats are streamed to the notebook, and then we can talk about them there. How does that sound?
Oh, no, that sounds good. You mean you actually integrate with Databricks notebooks as well? Yeah, talk a bit about that too.
Absolutely. Databricks is great. We integrate with a number of other services, but Databricks is one of them. Once you enable the Databricks integration, you just type in the destination that you want it to go to. In this case, we can use main.default.theom MITRE alerts, but we also do send all other alerts to your notebook or to this data source as well. now these will be streamed from our AI engines directly to Databricks. You can see the table is created over here. It's just got a few, but really this makes it seem like it doesn't have a lot of information. But if we go to the notebook and we actually look at data within the table, I'm just reading the table here, and a notebook, it does have a ton of information, like, such as criticality, the username of the access. This talks about that particular dashboard or that particular panel. Was it successful logins with auth? But there are also a ton of other panels where, let me look at some of the other rules down here. Wow, these are a lot of successful.
A lot of data, yes.
So fail logins with location, for example, right? So in this case, you see where is the user who had the failed login, incorrect username and password, what client type, client IP was, and we can also pull the ASN and location from there. So we do have a lot of information in this. And one of the reasons why we love Databricks and the integration with Databricks is it allows our customers to pull in their own data locally. This also goes back to, since we have all the compute going on within our customer's environment, I think you mentioned this in one of your previous logs. All the compute happening in the customer's environment is great. It scales. We don't pull out any customer data. They retain control of it. It scales more naturally, and you don't have to worry about data governance, right? So in that sense, some of the data customers might want to remain within their environment, and having a Databricks notebooks allows them to combine our intelligence and our AI engine alerts with their own data. So in this case, we're looking at sign-in logs from Azure, and we're able to combine in Databricks using PySpark these Azure sign-in logs with the theom alerts to find risky users to disable. So in this case, we're doing some check on finding issues with atypical queries. So are there any queries or accesses to data that looked atypical? And check if the logs or the login or the sign-in at that point looked risky. And so in this case, this is just a function. This isn't actually running it. So let me run this library function. We're also going to show how to disable that user automatically. And that's a pretty cool demo, because just by you can automate where you automatically disable users who have atypical queries and like suspicious queries or anomalous queries and risky logins. You can automatically delete them. Just showing you that the user is enabled right now. This is the dsoften user. This is the user that on the data has atypical accesses. So in this case, we run the function that we defined above for users to disable. Here we find that user dsoften is risky, risk level aggregated, the IP address. And this is just running the simple function here. You can see that this prints out all the information here. It's just a notebook, but it is a very powerful feature to have, combining data within your environment with data that's present in theom. And now we make a REST API call to the Microsoft Graph API, basically. Once again, user here is enabled, hit the Graph API, and now you can disable the user directly from within your notebook. You can disable. 1 second.
There you go. Disable.
Yeah.
This is awesome, man. This is awesome. I love this notebook. You're pulling data from theom, and then you are correlating it with the Azure sign-in logs, and then you are then using that information to actually do some orchestration, actually disabling users in Azure. This is super cool.
And this is all, you can run this on a schedule. You don't have to worry about it, right? Keep your system secure, run this every 5 minutes or even more frequently, that's fine. It'll automatically disable users anytime, because theom streams their alerts to Databricks as they appear in Databricks. Databricks can go ahead, the notebook can, on this automated schedule, can go ahead and take action.
Awesome. Thank you, Danesh, and thank you, everyone. That's it for this episode.